Understanding where this confusion originated takes us back to late October 2025, when an episode of The Braxtons aired on WETV. Anyone who's followed this family over the years knows the Braxton sisters have never shied away from confrontation, whether the topic is business, relationships, or family loyalty. During this episode, Towanda Braxton leveled a serious accusation at her youngest sister, Tamar, claiming that Tamar had slept with one of Toni Braxton's former partners. Production made sure viewers couldn't hear who Towanda was referring to because the man's name was completely bleeped out during the broadcast. The internet works fast, and speculation started immediately. Birdman, whose real name is Bryan Williams, became the name that kept coming up, and he happens to be the Cash Money Records co-founder currently married to Toni Braxton. Social media turned this accusation into wildfire. Towanda was right started trending as a hashtag, while comment sections filled with opinions from every angle. Tamar Braxton suddenly found herself at the center of a scandal she insists never happened. Here's where the circulating narrative gets things completely backwards. Tamar Braxton didn't reveal anything about catching anyone cheating, and she's actually been on a press tour defending herself against these accusations the entire time. December 16, 2025 brought Tamar to The Sherry Show, where she addressed these rumors directly by saying, "Where did that rumor come from? That is preposterous. The truth is, I introduced Toni to her husband. Bryan and I were friends first, like real platonic friends." Her explanation covered the history between them. Birdman had previously dated one of her friends, and after that relationship ended, she and Birdman stayed close because he and his brother, Slim Williams, wanted to sign her to Cash Money Records. Business developed into genuine friendship. Tamar was emphatic when she stated, "That's my brother. Now, he's my brother-in-law. That's my blood now. Me, Toni, and Bryan will be on three-way all day." The Breakfast Club brought her back the following day on December 17th, where she continued setting the record straight, explaining that her relationship with Birdman is purely familial and that Toni is fully aware and supportive of their friendship. The event that really added fuel to this fire happened just a few weeks before Tamar started doing these interviews. October 25th, 2025 marked the legendary Cash Money versus No Limit Versus battle at Complex Con in Las Vegas. The excitement around this matchup was massive, with two of the most influential Southern hip-hop labels going head-to-head and celebrating their catalogs from the 90s and early 2000s. Birdman was there representing Cash Money, which surprised no one. Tamar Braxton's presence was the notable part because Toni Braxton, Birdman's wife, was not at the event. Tamar stood on that stage supporting her brother-in-law instead, and video footage captured her wiping something off his head. She later clarified it was water, though the internet had already made up its mind. People lost it, using words like disgusting and distasteful to describe the behavior. That Towanda was right hashtag started trending again, as if this moment proved something more sinister was happening. Tamar fired back on Twitter with, "'Cause she couldn't be here. And she loved her husband, so I'ma hold it down for her and my brother. TF." Her later explanation included FaceTiming Toni during the event, claiming Toni was completely supportive of her being there to represent the family. The narrative had already taken on its own life by then. Kimora Lee Simmons enters this story here, and the mess really starts to pile up. The allegations connecting Birdman to Kimora didn't come from Tamar Braxton at all, because Funkmaster Flex dropped them on Hot 97 radio in December 2025. Flex claims he personally witnessed something back in the early 2000s. According to his account, he was at the radio station when Birdman came by with Kimora Lee Simmons at his side, which matters because Kimora was still married to Russell Simmons at the time. His recollection went like this. The label said, "Oh, Birdman would like to come by and he has Kimora Lee with him." This was while she was seeing Russell, who I was friends with. Russell at the time was very, very upset. Tears, upset. Confusion layered on top of confusion because Flex initially said "Day Baby" instead of Baby. Birdman's nickname has been Baby for decades in the industry, and when Flex first told this story using DaBaby's name, the rapper DaBaby got dragged into drama that had nothing to do with him. DaBaby responded quickly by calling the claim 1,000% false and making clear he'd never even met Kimora Lee Simmons. Flex then corrected himself, clarifying he meant baby, as in Birdman. Kimora's handling of this situation turned out to be pretty telling. When Flex initially made the claim, using DaBaby's name by mistake, Kimora responded on Instagram stories with LOL, "What? You're being sassy AF, Flex. Respectfully, I've never met DaBaby in my life, but you, on the other hand," followed by an eye emoji. Her denial about DaBaby was crystal clear. Gossip outlets immediately noticed what happened next, though, because after Flex corrected himself and clarified he meant Birdman, Kimora went silent. No clarification came, no statement dropped, no dismissal of the Birdman connection appeared anywhere. Birdman has stayed completely silent throughout all of this, refusing to address Flex's claims, the Tamar rumors, or anything else. Radio silence from the man at the center of everything. Flex's claims gaining traction makes more sense when you look at the documented history linking Birdman and Kimora's names together. This isn't the first time these two have been connected. February 2014 brought an Instagram post from Birdman featuring a photo with Kimora Lee Simmons, and his caption called her the love of my life. "Thank you for everything you did and do for me." The love of his life. That's what he wrote publicly on Instagram for everyone to see. Speculation about whether they were dating started immediately after that post. Russell Simmons shut it down shortly after by revealing that Kimora was actually already secretly married to investment banker Tim Leissner. Dating rumors died at the time, but that post stayed out there. The internet never forgets. What matters timeline-wise is that Birdman didn't start publicly dating Toni Braxton until May 2016. Roughly 2 years after that Instagram declaration about Kimora, verified records don't show overlap between a Birdman-Kimora relationship and his relationship with Toni. Gossip forums and tabloids have long alleged that Birdman and Kimora maintained an ongoing connection spanning over 20 years, though these claims remain unverified, and neither Birdman nor Kimora has ever confirmed them. Flex's recent claims, reigniting all this speculation, makes sense given that history. Laying out the verified timeline helps put everything in perspective. Kimora Lee Simmons married Russell Simmons in 1998, and they divorced in 2009. The alleged Birdman connection that Flex claims he witnessed would have occurred during this marriage somewhere in the early 2000s. That Instagram post from Birdman calling Kimora the love of his life dropped in 2014, followed immediately by the revelation that Kimora had secretly married Tim Leissner. May 2016 marked when Birdman and Toni Braxton began publicly dating, with their engagement coming in February 2018. August 8, 2024 brought drama when Birdman and Toni Braxton secretly got married. 2 weeks later, Toni filed for divorce, calling the marriage irretrievably broken in her filing. January 2025 saw the divorce dismissed with Birdman's consent, meaning the couple reconciled. August 2025 brought their first anniversary celebration, so they remain legally married as of now. Kimora divorced Tim Leissner in 2022 and is currently single. Circling back to the original claim that sparked this video requires asking a simple question. Did Tamar Braxton reveal how she caught Birdman and Kimora Lee Simmons cheating? She did not. That's not what happened. Tamar has been defending herself against accusations that she had an inappropriate relationship with Birdman. The Birdman-Kimora connection is a completely separate situation that Funkmaster Flex brought up, not Tamar. Online discourse apparently conflated these two different dramas together, creating this false impression that Tamar made some big revelation. Her entire press tour has been about clearing her name, explaining that she introduced Toni to Birdman, and emphasizing that their relationship has always been platonic. Kimora's world contains even more chaos worth mentioning because it adds context to why she's been in headlines so much lately. December 2025 brought the launch of her new reality show called Kimora, back in the fab lane on E, and around the same time she's been fighting a very public dispute with her ex-husband Russell Simmons. Russell has been making claims about paying her $50,000 a month in child support for 20 years while accusing her of interfering with his relationship with their daughters. Kimora fired back at these claims. Multiple fronts of drama are hitting Kimora simultaneously, including the Funk Flex allegations about Birdman, the Russell Simmons dispute, and her new show launch. All of this happening at once might explain why she hasn't directly addressed the Birdman situation. Breaking down where all the key players are right now helps clarify the current landscape. Tamar Braxton is single after multiple broken engagements to J.R. Robinson. A 2024 podcast interview featured her stating she won't date until her son Logan, who is 12 years old, turns 18. The Braxtons reality show on WETV still features her as a star, and clearing her name from these affair allegations has clearly become a priority. Birdman, 56 years old, remains legally married to Toni Braxton. That rocky start where Toni filed for divorce just 2 weeks after their secret wedding didn't end them, and they worked through it. The divorce was dismissed, and they've stayed together since. All of this recent drama has been met with his silence. Toni Braxton has not publicly addressed any allegations, whether about Birdman and Kimora or about Birdman and Tamar. She recently described Birdman as her bestie and mentioned they were friends for over 25 years before becoming romantic. August 2025 brought their first wedding anniversary celebration, and all public accounts suggest they're doing well. Kimora Lee Simmons is single following her 2022 divorce from Tim Leisner. Her new reality show and the ongoing Russell Simmons dispute are keeping her busy, and while she denied knowing DaBaby, she notably did not deny the Birdman allegations after Flex corrected himself. Taking stock of what we're left with here reveals a complicated situation. Funk Flex's claims from December 2025 are based on his personal recollection of something he says he witnessed over 20 years ago, with no documentary evidence, no photos, and no additional witnesses coming forward. His word stands alone. Birdman's 2014 Instagram post calling Kimora the love of his life is real and documented, though it was posted before he started dating Toni. Gossip forum speculation about a 20-year affair remains completely unverified tabloid fodder. Towanda's accusation against Tamar on the Braxtons featured a bleeped-out name, leading to speculation it was about Birdman. Tamar's emphatic denials explain that she introduced Toni to Birdman and that their relationship has always been platonic. Neither Birdman nor Toni has responded publicly to any of these allegations, keeping their relationship notably private throughout their time together. Here's the bottom line for anyone who came to this video expecting Tamar Braxton exposing some scandalous affair. The evidence doesn't support that narrative. Two separate dramas have been merged together in online discourse, creating a confusing situation. Tamar is defending herself against accusations rather than making them, while Funk Flex is the one who brought up the Birdman-Kimora connection. Kimora's silence on that specific allegation has only added fuel to the speculation. Living their lives publicly has always been the Braxton family way, and constant scrutiny and rumors come with that territory. Separating what's actually been said from what's been assumed or invented matters here. Certainty exists around a few things. Birdman is married to Toni Braxton. Tamar maintains she introduced them and considers Birdman her brother. Flex claims he witnessed Birdman with Kimora over 20 years ago. None of the main players, not Birdman, not Toni, and not Kimora, have directly addressed these recent allegations. Truth in celebrity drama tends to be more complicated than any headline can capture. At least now you know what was actually said, who actually said it, and what remains nothing more than speculation. That's the real story. If you found this breakdown helpful, make sure you like and subscribe because we're always going to give you the facts rather than just the clickbait. Drop a comment below and let me know what you think about this whole situation, and I'll see you in the next one.